Good evening, everyone. So it's a pleasure to welcome you all for one of the workshop session. Actually, IESL Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum. Let me introduce myself. I am Suresh Dharmaratna. So I am the current chairman of IESL Entrepreneurship Forum. And Entrepreneurship Forum is encouraging engineering entrepreneurs to take entrepreneurial challenges, and also we help to this forum to have a community. And also we conduct several workshops and also review the journey, or share the experience of well-known entrepreneurs, as well as we are lined up for entrepreneurship magazine, which will be share all of your entrepreneurs articles and experiences and things like that. So there are many things lined up in entrepreneurship forum. So today is one of our workshop session will be conducted. Before I go to more introduction on that program, I welcome you all to join with us, because the entrepreneurship forum is all of yours. So how it go and where it's go and what should you think to add, it up to you. So to hear you should come join with us. So meanwhile, going this session, I'll share the Entrepreneurship Forum Facebook link, so you can and WhatsApp group also. So you can send your phone number onto this chat. Then we will add you to the Entrepreneurship WhatsApp group, so where you can actively involve engineering entrepreneurship activities. Before taking any time, let me introduce the today's session. Today is one of our workshops. The workshop is sharing some kind of knowledge with us. Instead of workshops, we have another type of program that is called Review the Journey. Actually, it's about sharing our entrepreneurs' experience and their life journey of entrepreneurship journey. So today is one of the workshop session. This session you will get much more knowledge about the particular topic. So today's topic is US patent. Actually, this is very important topic because today we all know having or knowing or finding something is not enough, but securing it is also very important as entrepreneurs to be successful. So I'm not going to do details, but I'm going to introduce our moderator today. So she will introduce our resource person, Engineer Kirti Kodituaku. So moderator is our engineer Jasmine Nanakar. She's the immediate past president, past chairperson of Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum. So actually, she's very dynamic person. So today's session will be very interesting. As a workshop, getting knowledge, and also you will acquire much more things. So I'm handing over to you, Jasmine, to introduce our resource person as well as conduct the session. So all you are welcome.
Thank you, Engineer Suresh, our chairperson for the Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum for this year. So I congratulate you for the wonderful sessions that you are aligning with this, guiding these budding engineering entrepreneurs at the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. Congratulations to you and the team. So I want everyone to have kind of a relaxed mood, because I also having a lot of kind of a hard day today. Even it is a Saturday, I'm also stressed with some of the work in the weekend because of this power cut. I also couldn't have the refresh mind, because I have in a doubt whether it will be possible with our situations, or whether we need some kind of another alternative. So that's why I just want everyone to click on some reaction in this Zoom. So you may be having the Zoom on laptop or your smart device. So you can see the reaction button there. So you can click on what do you feel at the moment. Maybe you are getting excited. Maybe you are having something kind of a hard time. Maybe you are now motivated. So to fix the mood, I would like to know what is the mood that you are in right now. And so if you are super excited, we can go further, or you can just select more emojis there. So there's a reaction. So you can see some of these and the raised hand, and you can see some more things. So you can select one of these and we can see everyone's mood out there. So just start. So I can see everyone's moods. Okay. Smike. Dulan having a smike mood. Okay. Oh, Saman Kandanarachi. That's perfect. So we will be moving forward. So just wanted to check with you. So good evening to everyone. I welcome again to online workshop, Protect Your Rights, US Patent, organized by the Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum of the Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. So as I know that I had a hard time as a chairperson, now I'm a little bit relaxed, but still there are a lot of things to do for the upcoming engineering entrepreneurs. So as Engineer Suresh Dharmaratna highlighted, this forum is to support engineering community to develop entrepreneurial career and become successful engineering entrepreneurs in Sri Lanka. Our mission is making engineering entrepreneurs in Sri Lanka. So that's why we have continuous these workshops to discuss. Today's aim of this workshop is to discuss the importance of intellectual properties. We are sharing knowledge and experience who have already obtained US patent and going through this processing of US patent. And we will encourage you and we will uplift our undergraduates towards entrepreneurial activities and career development towards engineering entrepreneurship. So you may have some ideas already, but you have some doubt and you have some decision whether I'm getting this risk or whether I proceed. So likewise, you may have a doubt. So we are just empowering you to start your entrepreneurial journey. So we have a very young facilitator today. He's an engineering entrepreneur. Let me introduce his profile. Engineer Kirti Kodituakku is a co-founder of Effective Solutions and Gendo Innovations, and currently Kodituakku is a visionary leader who dedicated his career to improving new technology solutions to uplift the quality of life as well as engineering entrepreneurship. So his key areas of interest is biomedical engineering, artificial intelligence, and Internet of Things. So as an engineer, Kirti is a believer in his passion. He co-founded Effective Solutions and Gendo Innovations Private Limited with the motto of let the passion to be your profession. So very good motto, right? And with his batchmates, he started these things during his work studying at the engineering faculty. So I'm just going to briefly as a long description. And eventually, he formalized this company and recognized as one of the fast growing startup companies in Sri Lanka. During the journey, Kirti led them to think globally and expand the strategic markets such as Japan, UK, USA, where the leading innovations are happening at the moment. And as he believed, the team had the confidence and skills to be at the forefront of technology world and compete with any company in the domain. So that's confidence should be there as a leader and should be empower the other people to move on the same directions. As a person who drives in the experimenting nature, he tried out the new opportunities and won attention from both state and private sectors in many countries. So he has act globally, act locally, and just spread the market, everything in globally. So that's the very powerful message in his journey. So Kirti's team managed to achieve many milestones and awards, among them Emerging ICT Leader of the Year, Best Startup of the Year, Best Health Tech Solutions Company, Best IoT Startup Company, Best Mobile Solutions Company were achieved in local forums as well as National Science Foundations, National ICT Awards, Isabahumani Awards, #1 Awards, John Keel's Innovation X, and international awards such as Seed Stars, Cambridge Innovation Forum, Globee Awards. So there are many things that we want to, first of all, we want to congratulate you, Engineer Kirti and the team. So
Thank you, Jasmine. Hope I'm audible, right?
Yeah, I will welcome you in a little bit of giving some kind of a start point to this discussion. So thank you for joining with us for this workshop. So we invite our online participants and audience to share this link with relevant interested individuals. Even still, we have some more time to start. So that's why you are not too late. Share this link with others. So if someone can benefit from this knowledge, because if you really wanted to have this kind of knowledge is not elsewhere. So you have to find it in some kind of effort. So this is a free knowledge, so you can share it. And if you have any suggestions, any questions, there will be an FAQ session, so you can put into the chat box. So we can take it at the FAQ session later. So something to think about, that your intellectual property is a business tool. Your competitors may have similar tools, and you need to know your rights and decide how to use your intellectual property to help your business. So it is a property, and it can be rented out or sold, or can be taken by trespassers to the court and take required legal actions. So patent can be a sort of protections to intellectual property locally as well as internationally. So what happens if there's no patent or such thing, right? If patent become obsolete, entrepreneurs would be in constant fear of having their ideas stolen by competitors with more resources, maybe more financial power, more technical power. So this apprehension would then lead into those individuals never launching companies or exposing the world with ideas. This would signal a time of less innovation and discovery. So to avoid that, we need to know how to protect our intellectual property. And this is how we are going to share this knowledge. And I warmly welcome Engineer Kirti Korithuaktu to share this knowledge and his own experience to obtaining the US patent for his innovation. So this the screen is over to you. I will spotlight you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for all the participants for joining today, and thank you for that long introduction, Jasmine. So yeah, I'm here to share my knowledge. So moderator, you can start. So then I will continue to share what I have. Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to know, first of all, what is gender innovation and what is the background of your research, and how did you think of this is important to protect your intellectual property based on your innovation?
So there, Jasmine, so I prepared a small presentation for the group. Let me share my screen and show you. So for the knowledge sharing purpose also, I added some slides. So maybe during our discussion, I can share those slides so that you can get a very good understanding about the general patent process and also the US patent process. So let's see.
Would like if you can give you some kind of your gender innovation and what kind of
course, yes.
This is first. Yeah.
I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, sure. So if I'm going to explain Gendo here, Gendo is a product that can detect the endothelial dysfunction, which is the earliest possible change that happen, earliest possible detectable change that happens in a cardiovascular disease. Why I'm telling this? If you can see this image, there are multiple stages of a cardiovascular disease. But according to the medical theories, there are detectable stages during this process. This endothelial dysfunction is called as that first detectable stage. But to detect this, abnormality, we wanted to have a very sensitive technology. So this is where we came into the problem as a team. So we have very good engineers and doctors in the team. Not only engineers, not only our engineering team can do it, we needed a team of doctors also to work with us. So together we started this research because we had to start this from the concept level, and then step by, then we moved to a research, and then we moved to a product, and then to a business. So likewise, we had to pass multiple steps. So in Gendo, what it basically does is gives you a new test, like you do a sugar test, right? Or a pressure test or a ECG. So it will be a new test to the medical domain. So Gendo will perform this test and give you a reading about the vascular system health. So that is the innovation we did. And with that innovation, we wanted to secure our technology, because when we invent this technology, we went through all the available literature in the world. So there we identified that the technology innovation is something unique that we did. But to prove that uniqueness and to secure that technology, we have to select this path. That is the core motivation to get the patent, because if we secure the patent rights, that means we have we have two things mainly. One is we own the technology, and also we are proving that we have invented a novel technology to the world. So this is what we did at Gendo as a company. Engineer Jasmine, so I hope I explained what is the product. I hope you understood.
Yes, yes. So we wanted to know how you have catered your and specified and focused your customer segment to launch this product, and how do you think of your market segment for this?
Yeah, in that case, as I said, this technology detects the abnormality of the blood vessel. So this test will go to the medical field as a new test. Therefore, our customer segment is the middle-aged people who don't know what is really happening inside their body, because they continue to do exercises, they continue to do tests, but they don't know what is exactly happening in the blood vessel level. Say, if they are having an abnormal condition, until they reach a critical condition, they don't understand that they are in a critical stage. So I have a couple of other slides to share with our audience to get an understanding about the patent process that we follow. Shall I share those things with them?
Yes, I think you can go with the step-by-step guidance and how you are going to process the US patent.
Okay, good. Thank you. So, like I said, when I wanted to secure this technology, so we wanted to understand what is this process. I'll start from that. So, according to the historical background of this patenting, right? The patenting is to secure, I mean, like eliminate others coming to do your product, right? That is the core intent. That is what agreed in the US Constitution. So this is how you can find in the Article number 1, Section 8 and Clause 8 in US Constitution, right? So this patent, like I said before, in simple term, this is to exclude others making, using, selling, offering, or importing the claimed invention. So that is what mainly, that is what we get from the patent certificate, right? So, and the other important thing is this patent is territorial. So there is nothing called global patent or worldwide patent, right? So then by understanding this fact, we continued our process because we wanted to secure our technology in the targeted markets and also to prove that our product is unique. I talked about patents. There are 3 types of patents. One is utility patent, design patent, and plant patent. Our patent comes under utility patent. So when I talk about the structure of the patent, it has mainly 4 sections. One is the abstract. In the abstract, you will have a very brief detail about your invention, but in that you have to address all key areas. And then the description, mainly how it works. Right? If you have components, you have to explain that as well. And then the drawings. How does it look? Explain through drawings. So when it comes to the utility patent, this is very important. Otherwise, similar thing can be patented in a different way. So therefore, we have to be very specific. And the most important part is the claims. They're the legal boundaries of the patent. If we don't draft the claims properly, then we will never get the patent rights. Or if we get a patent right, if we don't have proper claims, then we are not in a position to secure our patents. So those 4 sections are very important. And then I'm guiding you through the process. I hope this will be covering the high-level structure of the complete roadmap and the process. Right. After that, we can discuss some of the experience as well. And during the journey also, I'm sharing some experience. This is one point, right? This roadmap, right? This is one of the hardest journey, right? The reason why I'm telling you, when we apply the patent, application itself has a long process. First, we have to do examination, and then we have to identify what are the prior arts, and then we have to draft the patent and draft the claims. Like I showed you in the previous slide, there are steps. There are 4 sections to cover in the patent. And when we apply the patent, we might get a lot of rejections. In my case also, when I apply for the first application, we got a big no. It was rejected, right? But we should clearly identify why it was rejected. Then we identified that it was rejected not because of the invention, because of some drafting issues. So likewise, when there is an issue, the patent examiner will immediately reject it. If there are minor issues, they might ask for amendments, right? But that will happen later. We have to continue this process by carefully following the process and carefully studying the feedback. So this is the journey until up to the allowance. So basically, when it comes to this journey, I will share the timeline and all later. So we may abandon, right? But if we continue to do that, right? If we believe our innovation is unique and it is patentable, we should continue until up to the end. So there, like I said, during the previous slide, I told you there is a person called patent examiner. That patent examiner is the one who mainly rejecting these patents. So to understand the patent examiner's role properly, right, we should understand these 5 points, right? Mainly the patent examiner does these 5 jobs, right? So they read and understand, search the prior art, evaluate the claims, and then response to office actions and hold the interviews, right? That is rare because they don't hold interviews on regular basis. They hold interviews stand by reading it, or if they want to set up, they are permitted to set up the interviews. And then this is us, role of applicant, right? We should file the complete application. We cannot file half of the application because some people, they're afraid of sharing the innovation details, because once the patent is published, our innovation details are in the public domain, right? So some people are afraid of doing that. And then to disclose the prior art, because if we disclose the prior art, then the patent examiner finds it easier to identify what are the prior art, and if we disclose it, then it is easier for us to explain why this prior art is not basically colliding with our claims, right? Because the prior art can lead it for the rejection. That's why. So then we have to explain our like office. I mean, explain the innovation and respond to the patent examiner's claims. In this process, right, we have to use some support from the experts. We may not be able to do it on our own. We might have to consult lawyers. We might have to consult some professors. So those kind of things we might have to do. And then what is called as office action, right? So mainly the office action are objection, rejections, and allowability, right? So these 4 office sections, these 3 office sections are the 3 main office sections. And then the rejection, only few slides more, right? I can discuss your questions after that. So then the rejection, rejection is actually like I said, rejection is very normal, right? It will help to understand this is patentable, right? I mean, usually get the rejection. In our case also, we got many feedbacks like that, right? So they ask, ask for the feedback, and they give us uh, some prior arts which might overlapping with our claims, right? So these kind of things are important. And one more thing, I want to share some statistics about the rejection, right? In US, in 2019, 84% of original applications were rejected, but among them, 58% of applications were accepted after that. So that is why it is very important to continue the patent process even though you get a rejection note. It is very common when you are applying for this kind of US kind of patent process. You may not get it when you are doing it locally, but when you are doing it in other countries, this is very common. And like I said before, this is the timeline. Usually this process takes about 27 months. So if we are to continue this process, right, we might have to spend about like 2.5 years to get the complete patent, but it can be more, right? This is very optimistic. In our case, we had to spend about 4 years, which means about 48 months, right? So by continuing this process, you can get the patent, right? So this is the patent journey, right? In a very, very short form, right? Engineer Jasmine, over to you. I explain this process in very brief manner.
Yeah. So I think only an entrepreneur who someone have a great vision can achieve to that level, obtaining a US patent and going through the multiple barriers and limitations to overcome those and obtaining your victory. To your target is to achieve the targeted customer segments internationally. So you need to protect your intellectual rights. And we are really proud of you, Engineer Kirti Kodituaku. And once you have mentioned this in the social media, I was personally very much happy, just like I got the patent. Because of that, it's very difficult. Even you know that so many individuals and entrepreneurs, business owners or entrepreneurs are working hard on their research, and very few of them follow until the end, and they want to publish it. They want to share that original idea, and they wanted to protect it in a professional way, obtaining a patent. So even it is going through the local context, it is also the similar. So it takes about 4 years. Recently, I had given up some of the things because there are similar things. So we have to first, we have to do a research, right? I think just explain what are the challenges, and first you have to do some similar research and whether to check whether it is existing in a kind of similar form or with some others invention or innovation. So how can you explain further with these challenges you have faced during that?
Yeah, first, when we apply the first application, we didn't know that patentability search is also needed. So, because we were, fresh graduates, this patenting process is is not being taught in the university, right? We know that patent office is there, and there is a process called patent, but nothing else, right? And we just what I did was I contacted Heminder is my business partner. So yeah, I asked how we can do it, and he also didn't have an idea because he didn't do that. So we consulted a lawyer. So lawyer said, okay, I have done for a couple of people, so I'll file the application. Nothing to worry. So, and then we filed, right? And then we got big no from the patent office, right? So, because the thing is, like I said, the drafting was not there because we drafted, right? Then I understood that, okay, there are professional drafters, right? And the professional drafters should have the domain knowledge as well, right? And when it comes to the domain knowledge, we don't have that kind of biomedical engineering and IP. People with biomedical engineering and medicine and IP law. So, there are no people like that. It's like that. Okay, but we didn't give up. So we decided that we are going to do this. Okay. So then we answered to the first office section, and then we got the patentability search from COSTI. Actually, COSTI supported us. That time it was COSTI. Now it's called National Innovation Agency. So they supported us to do the patent search. But that is, they are not a designated patent search office. So therefore, we cannot file that along with the patent application. We just got it to get some knowledge about it, right? And then we resubmitted it. And after we did the resubmission, the patent, patent office is not taking any actions, and it took some time, right? So we are giving reminders, and so, but when we do that, so we identified that, okay, this is going to take very long time, right? So that was the first thing, and we didn't have a plan, have an expectation of getting this on this date, right? So we cannot estimate something like that. So that was the biggest challenge. When we asked from the investors or when we asked from the business to support this process, everyone is asking, when we are getting this, right? So put money, for a business to put money, the result should be justified, right? But for a patent kind of thing, right, it is very hard to, even for this kind of new concept, right? It is very hard to give that kind of commitment. So that was one of the biggest challenges, even to continue this, right? So there are a lot of challenges during the journey. That was just version 1.0, right? So after that, we had some international evaluators, so the biggest opportunity was we got our patent evaluated from patent law firm called Marks and Clark. Later, we hired them actually. So initially they came to this John Keel's Innovation Challenge. During that John Keel's Innovation Challenge, John Keel's wanted to properly evaluate this idea. I think that is one of the key steps of this journey, because they wanted to do it. Then they hired the world's one of the world's leading patent law firm to do that. So I think that is one of the very good opportunity for us. It's a challenge, right? They might, I mean, they could have say no, but when they evaluated, they really understood what is the concept, and good that they had the right domain experts, right, to understand the medical and the engineering concepts of it. So that challenge became an opportunity, and then we hired them for the drafting part, right, and the filing processes.
So it is always revealed that you should have kind of a ecosystem, group of people around you, the network, professionals to support you. And also as an entrepreneurs, you should have that public relations and very good kind of partnership with subject matter experts. So you can hire anyone, but there should be some loyalty, this can be confidentiality should be there, because you are going to protect your intellectual property.
Exactly.
If you are going to share those valuable your property of your all whatever the research and all the findings, it can be a product or a service or the process. So design, all these things should be protected and shared in a very thoughtful and mindful manner. So I'm really curious now to ask, during this 4 years of time, how much do you have and your team invested to go through this long journey and obtaining this patent, US patent?
I think altogether it was about 50,000 Singapore dollars, not the US dollars, Singapore dollars. So maybe in US dollar term, it was about $40,000. I mean, it depends. Some patents, they might take about $20,000, but 20,000 depend on the patent. Like I said, the journey, during this journey, you might get a lot of office actions. When you have these office actions, you can't, I mean, if you are not responding to those office actions, then you're gone, right? So it's a vicious cycle. So until, I mean, you get it, you have to spend, I mean, this is not the end, right? But you get, I mean, if you are sure whether you are getting it, right, then you have to spend that. So, and one more thing, previously you said the team of professionals are needed. Yes, it is extremely required. And as an entrepreneur, right, what we do is we give that leadership, right? We know where to aim at, right? But to achieve that goal, right, we want experts to be with us, right? Otherwise, we won't be able to achieve that. If our goal is very big, right? If our target is very far, right? Then we need really good people to achieve that. So that's how we should do, right?
So the basic the application process, is it about 10,000 US dollars or the application? And how do you get the application? From where? What is the official site? If you can put into the chat box, and just to if it
just go to USPTO, but you need a registered lawyer to do the filing, right? But you can find, I mean, if you want to do it with low cost manner, then you can find a lot of like lawyer, I mean, registered lawyers are there in India and South Asia region, right? But the thing is, you cannot get a guarantee, right, about the issuance of the patent. The most important thing is the issuance, right? Because of the nature of our innovation, we didn't take that path, right? Because our patent is coming from new concept as well. I mean, new medical concept as well. therefore, for our journey, we needed quality people to achieve that, and we wanted to minimize the risk of that application and the submission process, because the real risk was there in the innovation and the concept. That's why.
So I think it's a very comprehensive kind of explanations we have got through your kind of questions and answers. So I think still it is not over, Engineer Keith. We are really curious, because someone with an idea and someone with their own vision to go to international market with their own intellectual properties. So, and also it will be a value added to their organizations, and also as an entrepreneurs, they can find more investors if you have these kind of patents on intellectual properties. So shall I come back the little bit of local contest in our country? You can get the local patent applications from www.nipo.gov.lk, National Intellectual Property Office. So it is there that most of the procedures now are online due to COVID-19 situation. So you can go to the NIPO website, and then you can get through the update of COVID-19 news section. So there are the procedures sections and how you can apply for the trademarks to protect your brands and protect your designs, protect your processes, whatever the obtained in the patent. Everything is there, and you can just going through in the 3 languages, Sinhala, English, and Tamil. In all 3 languages, it is available with more knowledge and resources. Even in the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, there's a library. The main library, you can find the there's a representative of this intellectual property related matters. So you can speak to that official, and then you can get more idea how you can process something locally. And these are the supports given by the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. And I just wanted to give some more kind of opportunities we have in Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum. So what we are doing today is you have to conduct someone for some kind of a cost or a investment, and then get this knowledge. But in this forum, we are bringing this all the entrepreneurs and the individuals who are having a passion and interest to become successful entrepreneurs in the future. So we share our knowledge and procedures, all this experience with you to take your entrepreneurial activities further. So these are free knowledge, so all are welcome. And we further support you with more knowledge and experience to build this country more prospective and going towards the sustainable future. So in our Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum, we have Engineering Entrepreneurship Bootcamp, EEB. I'm wearing the t-shirt. And we have our knowledge sharing sessions online. This is one of the session workshop model. And we have a experience sharing with the successful entrepreneurs as a reveal the journey. That's also online session. And CPD programs, we have entrepreneurship incubator program. You can speak to the education division of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka and ask for the more details if you ask more details if you are interested further. And we have a Engineering Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. It's a residential workshop, like you enter to the program, and then after you are going as a startup owner. Likewise, it's kind of a process that I'm also become an entrepreneur going through the Engineering Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. And Engineer Suresh Dharmaratna, our chairperson of the Entrepreneurship Forum, also one of the product of Engineering Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. So believe in the system, believe in the process, and believe in what we are making today. And we are realizing our dreams through our empowerment and through our visions and our commitments. So that's why we welcome all of you to follow us, our social media, Engineering Entrepreneurs. I think Engineer Suresh Dharmaratna has shared that link. And also we are in our social media. So you can go to the website. There's a website in Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, and we have engineering entrepreneurs is more part of that, link to that main website. And also you can write to us. We have a Gmail account, so we will share that our Gmail account, so you can send us something you wanted to clarify further, and we are supporting you to reach your entrepreneurial dreams. So I wanted now to come back to Engineer Kirti once again, and it is not yet over. I think as a young, passionate, visionary engineering entrepreneur, Engineer Kirti, you have a lot of things to share and suggest and recommend to our upcoming engineering entrepreneurs and individuals who have the passion to become entrepreneurs. So it's over to you now. You can share more kind of suggestions, recommendations to reach their targets and goals in entrepreneurship.
One more thing I want to add, you can, if you want to find more details about the patent process in US, there's a site called USPTO, right? So you can go to that and get the details. Someone is asking that in the chat group. So I think that is answered now. So like you asked Engineer Jasmine, so engineers are the professionals who can build the country's economy. That's what I believe. So we have that strength, because engineers by profession, we are problem solvers. So as problem solvers, we can identify the market opportunities, and we can identify what are the opportunities in both local and the global setup. So I believe all the engineers who are in IESL or who are not in IESL has the potential to become these problem solvers. And if your problem is applicable to a business, then immediately set up a business and then try to contribute to the economy. And most importantly, if you want to do something like that, it is very important to identify your passionate area. So when you are doing that solution in your passionate area, you're unstoppable, and a lot of people will join you because they know that you have enough energy to thrive in this market. So I believe all those who are in this group can follow that, and I think if we all follow, then our country will be really prosperous. Thank you. Hello. Engineer Jasmine, your mic is muted, I think.
I am only, okay, now I think I am only operating this and getting a spotlight to me. That's why there's a little delay. So I beg your pardon. And I think that's a good message, because as engineers, yesterday we have celebrated World Engineering Day, and going forward with sustainable development to every country in this world. So I think engineers are like omnipresent. They are everything. So whatever you think around you, all man-made things, there's engineering inside. There's engineering commitment, engineering work, research, everything put into it. So even in our culture, we had a very good culture, our history. So now after some time, we are now become people with, like, we are not getting much risk. Whoever started learning and education background with engineering, they are doing some kind of administrative work. Why don't you apply your real knowledge? Why don't you really apply your right knowledge into to making something to this world, some innovations, right? That is why we are encouraging you as engineers. You are very, very keen to become entrepreneurs, because you have already come across the problem solving, having the analytical skills, all this curiosity, everything, all the soft skills and the hard skills, life skills you have as an engineers. So why don't you take one step further and become an engineering entrepreneur? So that's why we are empowering you, giving you all the resources, building this ecosystem, building this supportive system to empower you, to inspire you to become engineering entrepreneurs and serve to this world. So look at the situations in our country right now. We have lack of power, lack of facilities, everything, all the problems are there. As an engineers, we try to solve the one or two problems. It will automatically give a kind of multiple solutions to other constraints as well. So that's why we are empowering you to do more research, try to become kind of a change maker in this country and make something good. So now I'm just wanted to know how curious you are. If you have some questions, it can be a funny question even, but I encourage you, it's a Q&A session right now. So you can put into the chat box, and also if you are willing to speak up, you can unmute your mic and you can ask questions directly from Engineer Kirti. So now it's your time to awake your intellectual curiosity and know what is important in US patent, even if it is related to entrepreneurship, engineering entrepreneurship, you can ask questions, and we are here to support you and share knowledge. It's now time to you, the audience.
Hello, I'm Varuna Kirti. This question is about the. Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can listen.
Yeah, Kirti, you said that this US patent only covers the patent within US. So if you want to protect it from other countries, like do you have to go for each and every country like Japan or China or anything, or is there any way to upgrade this to a world rights kind of a thing?
No, to get the patent rights in those countries, you have to get it. But in Europe, you have selected countries in European, I mean, not for all European countries, now say, except UK, France, Germany, and
okay,
2 other countries, right?
Okay.
They can be applied together, right? But the cost is little high. And
okay.
I think you're asking about the PCT process, right? Patent Corporate Treaty. But that is not the patent license, right? That is a provisional patent. So
Okay.
that blocks for 130 plus countries for 30 months, right?
30
from your, yeah, that is PCT filing, Patent Corporate Treaty. That one was provided from WIPO, right? World Intellectual Property Organization. So you can have that protection for 30 months, but it's a provisional patent.
Okay.
It's not a right.
All right, thanks. So basically, there's nothing to prevent maybe somebody in China making your product and start selling it.
No, there is no way.
All right, thanks.
By the way, the protection can be done from the technology side, not from the legal side. So if I'm answering it in detail, right?
Yeah,
so
okay.
Let's say, yeah.
It's like something like when you have the receipt, you have it's mentioned in certain amount of this ingredient, certain amount of this ingredient, like that, not the extract, the formula. So then likewise you can protect your kind of product when it is patent and public. You can protect it in technology. Is that what you wanted to highlight?
Or rather, so you can, I mean, you can have part by part, or the working principle can be changed. Now, in our case, the hardware can be produced in any country. That's okay. But it has to be connected to our cloud. If not, the hardware is not properly working, because the end result is generated from the cloud.
Yeah, that means that firmware is available to workable kind of a hardware through your cloud facility. Okay.
Exactly. So therefore, we don't have an issue of producing it in other countries, but they have to connect to the cloud. So there we do the charging. So
Any more questions? I think we want to.
Yeah, well, I have two questions. First, I will start. One is once we got a patent, so then it's like a resource. I think. Then how we are going to once commercialize it? Is there a way, or have you tried to commercialize that product also? What the way? That's a one question. As you said, as you explained it, yes, the patent is territory. So if we are going to commercialize in USA patent will be. But when we are going to commercialize in Sri Lanka, what further steps that we have to get? That's a one question. And the second question, can you please explain us a little bit further whether we are going to apply for Sri Lankan patent? What would be the process? So is it say it would take same timeline or same format or something like that? If you can give some idea about that also, better. That's the second question.
So, okay, if I'll start from the second question. So, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Suresh, is that okay? So I'll start.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's fairly okay.
Right. So, so when you apply for the Sri Lankan patent, right, or any other country, so you should file that with a small draft. I mean, ideally, if you can do a patentability search and file the patentability search along with that application, that is good. But anyway, once you file it, the patent office will do the patentability search. That is their protocol. So anyway, when you apply the initial idea, right, you will get a date called priority date, right? That is the most important thing in this patent process, right? So after that, you will be following similar protocol, because most of these countries are members of WIPO, right? The World Intellectual Property Organization. The basic, protocol and the application is similar, but the pricing structure is completely different, right? Say the Sri Lankan pricing and the Indian pricing or US pricing is completely different from country to country. The general, office action fees and the resource support fees are different. So you can't expect the same price, right? But for PCT filing kind of thing, right? It is same, right? But again, when you hire a consultant, who let's say when you hire a designated patent search office, that price is different. I will add one more thing there. So when you do the PCT filing, you have to do it within first 12 months, right? From the priority date. Say if I apply the patent in my case, we applied the patent in Sri Lanka, right? So we applied the first patent in Sri Lanka and got the priority date from Sri Lanka. So after that, within 12 months period, we filed the PCT. So then we have coverage for all 130 plus countries, 133 or something, right? So we, then during that process, we appointed Australian Patent Office as our designated patent search office, right? So then the Australian Patent Office has evaluated this patent and give the report. So by having that report, we can further improve our patent application, right? So before we do the country file, from that PCT period, we have some protection, right, in all these countries. So after this 30 months period, you cannot apply the territory file. So before that 30 months period is going to over, you have to file the territories. So that is the process. So let's say if you file in the 31st month, your application is already rejected, right?
So you said
And
that Australia, yeah, sorry. You get a search report from Australia. Is there any type of what's that? If there's any other choices, so can we have?
Yeah, there are multiple patent offices, but the thing is, when we apply US, right, the patent search should be done from a patent officer. The US also accepting, right?
Good.
So that kind of, I mean, there are few patent offices like that. That has a very good examiners. Yeah, and the repo. Yeah, exactly. When it comes to your first question, so you were asking about
Commercialization.
the commercialization of the product. So when it comes to the commercialization, it is actually product specific. Now, say for example, in Gendo, you can't do the commercialization until you get the NMRA. NMRA means Medical Regulatory Authority, because this comes under class 1 medical product, right? But if it is not a medical product, then you don't have any other certification process, right, to market this. But if it is challenged, right, then we have as an electronic product, there can be challenges. Therefore, CE and ROHS, those kind of certifications are needed. I mean, it's a value-added thing. So basically, if the people are buying it with no issue, then you're okay. It is not highly regulated in the electronics market. But for the medical product, if you are selling it to a hospital, you definitely, I mean, you have to have these regulatory certificates for sure.
So actually it depends on what kind of patent you hold and what kind of market you are going to sell that patent.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Great idea. Thank you very much. That's a great idea.
Any more questions? We can have one or two last questions, please. This is an opportunity for you to clarify all your doubts and kind of assumptions, right? Don't assume. Always try to clarify things very correctly and in a very genuine resource, because that's why we have a special facilitator today, Engineer Kirti Kodituakku, the CEO of Gendo Innovation. So he has the experience and own patent obtained from the US. So he has a person who has going through this very comprehensive and very iterative application process to get the US patent. So you can ask and get clarifications done today. And this is an opportunity. So we can give you one or two last questions.
One more thing before I get further questions, I want to add one more thing to Engineer Suresh question. So, and one of the most important thing is to find the investors and the business partners or the selling partners for the product. Let's say it's a medical product or non-medical product, you need that partners. When you have a patent, you are upon the deal, because the thing is you can prove that your your product is unique and it is accepted from the global forum, right? I mean, otherwise you have to say so many things to get that clarity, right? But once you have this kind of certificate, for 20 years you are protected, right? And for 20 years you have this license. So that is the market opportunity, right? So this is related to the commercialization. So that's why I wanted to add it. Yeah. Any questions?
So ask questions and have your intellectual curiosity. Please, you can unmute the mic and ask questions.
Until yeah, sir. Okay. Go ahead, Shyam.
So thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. That was very informative. So since you are marketing this, your paid territorial is USA. So if you want to market this in USA, you have to get the FDA approval, right? So Food and Drug Administration approval. So are you trying to seek that approval and certification, or like in which stage are you in that process?
So we haven't applied the FDA yet, right? Because at the same time, when we do the US application, we did Sri Lankan filing as well. We first want to commercialize the product in Sri Lanka as the test market opportunity, okay. Because when we directly go to the US, there is a big process and lot of investments are needed. So therefore, we first focus on the Asia region, right? So where you have very less complications. Like I said, our product is something that works. I mean, works with the hardware and the cloud software, right? So basically, when you have the hardware system on the ground, you have to have the cloud system also running. So therefore, the process-wise, it is protected. And the important part was when we securing the US patent, we wanted to prove our authenticity, right? And the novelty, right? So that was one of the key things when we get the US patent. And also the other one was the competition, because only competition is happening from Israel, right? That Israel company is also having a US patent. So therefore we had to secure that that market, proving that the Israel product and our product has a different technology. And also we have done the, I haven't talked about that today, but we have done the clinical trials also, successful clinical trials, and we published that in the biggest biomedical engineering forum also. So that's something to prove that our technology is unique and also our technology is better, right? So with that, we can go to the market. So that's the way that we are, when it comes to market, market expansion, we have to think about the market returns, the business and the market returns. So that's the way that we are planning to do at the moment.
Got it. Thank you.
So is there any questions you can ask?
Yeah, another question actually for all of us who are looking for writing patents. Can you give us some guidelines for getting a good databases? Because when it goes to engineering patent search, databases, engineering patent search databases are more important. So can you enlighten us any available good patent search databases that we can access freely and pay either?
So there are two things actually. So one is you have to search in WIPO, right? So that is the biggest database, and most of the patents are regulated there, right? And then the important thing is try to get a patent examiner, right? Examiner means not a person who's working in the patent office. There are there are examiners who are doing the patentability search. There's a standard way of doing the patentability search, right? Try to get that. I mean, it's not expensive, but if you can get it from a licensed patent examiner, right? You can file that patent examiner's report along with the patent application. That adds a lot of credibility to your application when you are filing the patent application in Sri Lanka or any other country, right?
Is there any Sri
They
Lankan
will guide
examiner
you.
search? Can we find any examiner in Sri Lanka or anywhere?
Yeah, there are patent examiners who has done the course, that WIPO training course, and I mean some of them are engineers, right? I think they are ISL members, so I don't know what's the current.
Even Engineer Kirti, we have that in the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, the library services also offering some of the search facilities. So I think better to speak to the main library of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. They will support you further.
One thing, Engineer Yasmin, so I really want to do this in Sri Lanka, because when I first wanted to do this, the Sri Lankans are there in the world who own the patent and who does a lot of innovations, right? But in Sri Lankan territory, Sri Lanka itself doesn't have, right? Why? Because Sri Lanka itself doesn't have the market for them to sustain, right? Or Sri Lanka doesn't have that. I mean, we cannot say that we don't have inventors. We have inventors, but those inventors cannot become innovators because they don't have that business knowledge, right? Or an innovator cannot become an entrepreneur because they don't have the money, or they don't have that kind of thought process. So if we have inventor, innovator, entrepreneur kind of people in Sri Lanka, then these kind of people can come to Sri Lanka, or they can supply services to Sri Lankan companies. Even in these kind of patentability search kind of things are very small work. I mean, like, it's not a really big thing. I mean, it's big when it comes to the application. It's very important. But the thing is, for a person who's doing it, they can do a lot of work like that, right? Because patentability search is something that they can perform with their experience, right? When they have more experience, they can do it faster. But for a person who is applying their patent for the first time, right? They don't have to reinvent the wheel again and again. They will find it difficult at the first step. But when we have these kind of people, and when they have more requests to do these kind of things, they will also find a good business, right? And they will add more knowledge to this ecosystem. Then it's, I mean, it's good for this market, because as Sri Lankan engineers, right, we know that we have only few people, right? We have only few numbers. So only way is to build world-class innovations, right? Without that, we are, I mean, we are nowhere in the world, right? Because we don't have so many people like India, right? Or maybe Pakistan or any other country. They have a lot of people. They can attract outsourcing businesses. But in Sri Lanka, we are not in a position like that. We can attract outsourced business, but not in that volume, right? So we should focus on this kind of innovation because we have very intellectual people. But to do that, we have to have that kind of ecosystem. So it is very important to have professionals And those professionals should be working together, not individually.
I think you have highlighted at the very last moment is a very important point. I think it's over to you, Engineer Suresh Dharmaratna, because this idea is the right idea that we should move forward, because we have to build up this ecosystem. I have laid the foundation, and now you and the team can work further to develop this concept, because there are many researchers, many inventions has happened in all the institutions in local context, with the universities, professionals, professors, academics, all of them get together. And also then what you have to link it with the commercializing these inventions with innovation, and then how you can find more investors and making in a sustainable model for implementing that creative economy in this country. And you can see in present consequences we have right now, we are facing a lot of kind of drawbacks at present. So that's why we wanted to empower all these engineers and entrepreneurs to take these actions to have the kind of a sustainable future for engineers and also our upcoming generations. So
yeah, something that's nice, Jasmine. So as Engineer Kirti nicely framed this, the most important thing is preparing the ecosystem. So as this engineering entrepreneurship forum is one of the start for engineers to make the ecosystem for being entrepreneurs. So this is so for all of us, we engineers who are today is in this forum are most important engineers, because they are really joined with entrepreneurship forum activities. So let's all of us together create this ecosystem for the future. So I invite all of our engineers to join with our activities and give you ideas, share, and more actively participate with Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum activities. And let's make that ecosystem to conductive for all inventors, innovators, and also entrepreneurs to lead up for the future. Over to you, Justin.
So we must thank Engineer Kirti Kodituakku, the visionary leader and a passionate young engineering entrepreneur. Thank you very much. And it's very pleasure to have you on this online discussion and share immense of knowledge and experience. Even it's a very little time we had, like less than half an hour. So stay touch with us for the further activities at the Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum and supporting these upcoming engineering entrepreneurs. Thank you very much on behalf of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka and the Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And yeah, thank you for entire audience.
Yeah, spotlight you and give the inspirational message to celebrate this workshop today, and give some kind of inspirational message to our audience.
Okay. Yeah, first, thank you for inviting, and thank you for all the participants. And then when we start this journey, it was completely a new path, no road, I mean, we don't have any path to go, but we had a vision. We wanted to do something, and we were true believers of that vision. We knew that if we want to change the status quo, we are the people and no one else can do it, right? So believing that, by awakening our passion, we wanted to continue it. If you are passionate on something, you should start it today. You cannot start it tomorrow, right? You should have a passion that drives you. If you find your true passion, right, you will become the market leader in whatever you do. So it takes time, but try to continue, right? And being an engineer, you are blessed, right? So being an engineer, you have the domain knowledge, you have the right level of tool set, right? So if you are continuing with that passion, then you have the enough of fuel for you to drive. So I think that is the inspiration that I have, and that is the inspiration that I can give to anyone, right? So we as a team, right, we are continuing this journey, and we want to make Sri Lanka the #1 innovative destination in the world, right? So this is what we were, I mean, maybe our ancient Sri Lankans, right? Maybe 2000 years back, they did, right? Their innovations are still there, right? For the world to see, right? But why can't we do it now? We can, right? So when we are competing with this kind of product, we saw that a country like Israel is doing it, right? So Israel has a brand now. They are one of the key innovative destinations in the world, maybe #1. But why Sri Lanka cannot? The same in size, right? Only thing is we are not thinking in that way. When we achieve our engineering degrees, we think that we are there. When we achieve our PhDs, we think that, okay, this is what it is, right? But it's not. So if we have that mindset, then it will go to the junior batch. Then it will go to the next generation. So this change cannot be done in 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years. It has to be done within decades, right? So we have to have that kind of plan. But IESL is the right place to set that. Now we have this engineering forum. So that is very good initiative that IESL has taken to change the engineering mindset, right? Because engineers are the people who can build things, right? Who are the problem solvers to this nation. So if we are not doing it, who else? We have the, I mean, we have to have that passion, that's why. Okay. Right, Engineer Jasmine? So, yeah, take it.
Thank you very much, Engineer Kirti Koditaku. Thank you once again. And we are very proud of you as a very young engineering entrepreneur. You are sharing this knowledge to all of us. Don't think that your age and your time limitations, nothing is a barrier. As long as you have a vision and your willingness to commit yourself to become an engineering entrepreneur, we are there to support you, and let's go this journey. You are not alone, and we are here. So special thanks to the Publicity Division of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, Professional Affairs Committee of the ISL, and all the engineering entrepreneurs of the Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum who supported this event, and especially Engineer Saman Kandanarachi and Engineer Prasanna Livanage, who was actively participating and actively doing some activities for Engineering Entrepreneurship Forum, and especially our chairperson, Engineer Suresh Dharmaratne. Thank you very much. And before end this session, I invite all of you to join with our mission, making engineering entrepreneurs in Sri Lanka. So this is a good outbreak with limited resources and constraint to rethink your career as an engineer, to turn to engineering entrepreneur and select the best choice in your career and whom you want to be in your future. So please share this knowledge once we are uploaded this to ISL Media, the YouTube channel. You can share this link with them. Whoever absent today, you can share the knowledge, and follow us on Facebook group page, and stay connected for our future programs. Thank you. All the best.